Miles Morales, known as Spider-Man from another universe, gets into trouble again in the Spider-Verse, where he meets many other versions, but also discovers the truth of his past. So in case you didn't see it, let me tell you, Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse. This movie starts with the Spider-Woman, named Gwen, who doesn't seem to fit in with her gang, so she better leave the group, while she explains that she had a friend, named Peter, who defended and even ate at his house, but the bad thing is that he turned evil, and she had to stop him, but she found out that he just wanted to be special like her. Well, Gwen's father, who is a policeman, believes that Spider-Woman is evil and ended up with Peter. Later, Gwen explains to us that she didn't have any more friends, only Miles Morales, but he's in another universe, and they can't see each other. Later Gwen returns home, while we see that her father does not know that she is the spider. Then, the father gets a report and has to retire, thinking that maybe if Spider-Woman shows up, maybe he can catch her. At the same time, Gwen goes to that place, where she meets a villain who comes from another universe, since she sees that he is distorted. At that moment, another version of Spider-Man appears, named Miguel, who goes against the villain, while mentioning that he is part of a group that helps keep peace in the multiverse, and that they made a big hole in the last movie in space-time, and it is for them that the villains travel between dimensions. Also, comment on Strange and the other Spider-Man we know from Marvel, since they also left a gap. Then more versions arrive, who try to stop the evil, but things get out of hand, and Gwen manages to figure it out, so her other versions see that she is very skilled. At the same time, Gwen loses her web and her father arrives, who wants to arrest her, so she reveals who she really is, but the father does not understand, so her other versions arrive and invites her to join them, so she decides leave your universe. In a change of scene, or rather of the universe, we see Miles' parents, who are in a meeting with the director, but Miles is taking a long time to arrive, while we see that it is because he is with a new villain, called the Spot, which moves from place with its spots. Then, Miles tries to stop him, while he explains that he has changed a lot since the last movie, since he has grown a lot and even changed the style of his costume. He also mentions that he misses his uncle a lot, who, despite being a villain, I always take care of him. At the same time, he realizes that he has to get to the meeting with his parents, so he manages to trap the Blob in the process of going to the meeting, so he goes there quickly, where upon arrival, it seems that he is good in subjects, but he is often late for his classes. However, the director tells him that he has the chance to enter one of the best universities, but everything is interrupted since she sees that the Spot has come loose, so she says goodbye and goes to attend to her duty. Then, he confronts Spot again, to whom he tells him that he is just a common villain from a boring week, but he tells him that because of what they did with the Collider from the last movie, he became what he is now, which he does not like. He also explains that he turned him into Spider-Man, since he brought a mysterious spider from another dimension, which stung him and transformed him. At that point, Miles manages to send it off in one of his own blobs, so it looks like he's gone for good. Later, we see that the Spot is in another unknown place, where he sees that his holes send him anywhere in the multiverse, while he arrives with the woman from the store from the Venom movie, from whom he takes some gum. Later, he goes to another universe, where Lego Spider-Man detects him and reports him to Miguel. Returning with Miles, for saving the day he almost forgets to bring some cakes, and since he runs out of cobwebs, he has to use public transport, but in every corner he has to save the day, so he is late and has to hurry. However, upon arrival he notices that he ruined the cakes, so he gets into trouble with the parents, and they end up punishing him, since they believe that he is wasting his time, so he is about to tell them the truth, but he notices that it's not the time. You better accept your punishment and get out of there. Then, he remembers his friend Gwen, who he misses a lot, but at any moment strange things start to happen in his room, and she appears right in front of him, since in the group she works he can move between dimensions. So, he tells her that he's there because he's on a mission looking for a villain, while Miles tells her that he won't be able to go because he's grounded, but she convinces him to go, so he tells him that he's in an elite spider group of the multiverse. Later, Gwen advises him not to tell his parents that he is Spider-Man, since she did and everyone got out of control. Afterwards, Miles asks him to let him join them, but tells him it's too hard to get in. Later, the parents surprise them on the roof, for which he introduces them to Gwen, while she receives a signal from the group, since they found the villain they are looking for, so she says goodbye and Miles cannot go, since the parents remind him that he is grounded. Later, the mother sees that Miles is sad, so she gives him permission to go with the girl, but tells him not to take too long. Then, he soon makes his way towards her, but someone surprises him and takes a picture of him off guard. At the same time, Gwen was trying to activate some systems, where she reproduces a hologram of what happened a few moments ago, so she sees the blob, who did something to take more energy, while Miles was already there, but invisible to Gwen. I didn't see it. Later, more of the team appear, who believe that the blob could be very dangerous if it gains more power, so they must catch it as soon as possible. So, Gwen has to go to the dimension where the villain left, so she says goodbye to Miles without knowing that he was there. Well, we see that the latter is encouraged by her and goes after her, so he travels to another dimension, where he meets Gwen again, which she lets him know that should not have happened. Later, he meets the spider of this universe, which is very special, and introduces himself with him. Soon they go after the villain, but he traps them in a special chamber, where Miles has a new trick, and it seems that he is about to knock him down, but he tells him it is costing a lot. At the same time, another version of them bequeaths, called Hobie, who manages to get them out of there. Then, they go after the villain, but things get out of control. Well, the Spot tells him to take everything from him as he took it from him, so he says goodbye, and tells him to see him when he returns to his universe. So, they see that he caused a big disaster, so they try to save people. Well, Miles goes to save the father of the spider from this dimension, but Gwen doesn't want him to go, although Miles manages to get him to safety, so he reunites with his son, and Miles is proud. However, at that moment, they see a quantum hole coming out, so many spiders arrive to try to contain it. At the same time, they tell those who were there that they have to go to Miguel in an emergency, so they go to the place where multiverse, where there are different versions of them, so Miles knows many versions of him. On the other hand, we see Miguel, who mentions that he is the spider leader of the group, who sometimes has to do things that he doesn't like, but that he has to do it for the good of others. Then, they arrive with Miguel, who is upset, while the other Peter that he saw in the last film arrives, who is already a father. Then, Miguel tells him about the Spider-Verse, where many times they coincide in things, which they call canon, and they are things that should not be changed. Well, we see when different spiders always lose someone, so we see the first Spider-Man from the movies, when he lost Uncle Ben. Then, Miguel tells him that he saved the father of a Spider-Man who was already a police captain, who, upon becoming captains, their destiny is to go to the afterlife, which is why a quantum hole emerged in that universe. Miles doesn't believe him, but Miguel tells him that it happened to him before, and an entire universe was destroyed, while Miles comments that his father will become captain soon, so he believes that the Spot will. He tries to convince them, but no one wants to support him for the good of others. Then, he sees that the others, including Gwen and Peter, do not want to follow him, while Miguel catches him, but he sees a tip from Hobie, and manages to get out of there, so he leaves at full speed, while all the spiders try to catch him, while the leader tells him that he shouldn't be Spider-Man, since the spider that bit him was actually from another universe, which was left without a hero because of him, although Miles manages to fool them all including Miguel, so he manages to leave. He sends all the spiders away, and he launches himself from above to reach the lab, where he uses a machine that reads ADN to send him back to his place of origin. Miguel tries to stop him, but fails, and Miles manages to escape from there and returns to his dimension, while Gwen tries to defend Miles, so Miguel banishes her and sends her to his dimension, so she won't cause trouble. Then, Gwen gets home, where her father discovers her before she escapes, but this time he wants them to talk, so he lets her know that he gave up being captain to not chase her anymore, so she realizes that he won't leave anymore to the afterlife for that, while they get sentimental and make up again. Then, he gives him a gift that Hobie left him, which is a bracelet so he can move between dimensions, so he says goodbye to his father, and goes to look for Miles, who is coming home, while Miguel and the others try to find it. Miles arrives home, where his mother was waiting for him, so he knows that the Spot will arrive soon, so he confesses to his mother that he is Spider-Man, but she does not seem to know about the arachnid superhero. At the same time, Gwen, it seems that he is coming to his house, and only stays behind the walls. Then, Gwen enters the room, but we realize that he is actually alone, since Miles is in another dimension. Well, he remembers that the machine detects the ADN, so he must have sent it based on the spider's ADN that he received. Peep, so he is in the universe where there is no Spider-Man. Then, he sees his uncle who he knows is evil, and nicknames himself the Prowler, which he follows for a while. But soon someone knocks him down. He wakes up and sees that his uncle has him tied up, so he tries to convince him to go away. The good way, but this one refuses. However, the worst thing is that he realizes that his uncle is not the Prowler in this universe, since the real one arrives, who is really Miles Morales, but from this universe, who seems to be upset, since his father he went to the afterlife, and the first Miles still has it. On the other hand, we see that the Spot is going to start acting, and it has become very powerful. Well, Gwen recruited her own team, and they are going to try to save Miles. Well, the latter sees his other version at home, and he knows that he will have to go against himself to return to his place of origin and save his father. And if you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to continue receiving videos like this. Have a great day.